Alright, so I'm Mark, 28 years old, and I thought I had things figured out. 4 years, man? 4 years with Sarah. We moved halfway across the country for her master's program, got a dog, built a life that felt ours, even if it wasn't perfect. We had our routines, our inside jokes, our plans for the future. Or at least, I thought we did. Now I'm sitting here, watching it all go up in smoke, trying to make sense of how it went so sideways, so fast. It started subtle, like a low hum in the background you barely notice until it's screaming in your ears. Sarah was in the thick of her master's program, some intensive 6-week period. She was stressed, constantly on edge. Said she was drowning. I get it. School's tough. I tried to be there for her, asked what I could do, offered to pick up more around the apartment, give her space when she needed it. But it was like I was talking to a wall. She just seemed distant, always lost in her own head. Then came the I feel invalidated and alone bullshit. My gut clenched a little when she said that. I mean, I was right there. Busting my ass at work, coming home to try and make things easier, listening to her vent for hours. What the hell was I invalidating? But you know how it is. You brush it off, tell yourself she's just stressed, she doesn't mean it. You try harder. Mistake number 1, probably. Giving her the benefit of the doubt when my gut was already screaming red flags. I've always been that analytical type, you know? Always trying to find the logical explanation, giving people the space to be human. Turns out, sometimes humans just suck. A few weeks after that, she went out drinking with her university friends. I was invited, sure, but I was beat from work and figured she deserved a night to blow off some steam with her classmates. Go have fun, I told her, genuinely. She even gave me a quick kiss on the cheek before she left. What a fool I was. Next thing I know, it's a month later, D-Day, as she called it, and the whole damn story comes spilling out, piece by agonizing piece. She got flirty and stupid drunk. Apparently. Some guy from her class started sweet-talking her. She blamed the alcohol, blamed the stress, blamed the guy for apologizing for being too intense, and saying he should have noticed I was anxious. What a load of shit. She felt important when he kissed her at the bar, she said. And she kissed him back. Made out over the clothes a little bit for 5 to 7 minutes. She actually timed it, like it was some kind of scientific experiment. 5 to 7 minutes. My stomach turned when I heard that. The image of it burned into my brain. The bar, the drunk giggling, her lips on some other dude's. All while I was home, probably watching some dumb show, waiting for her to get back. And that wasn't even the full story, not by a long shot. She didn't stop in the cab either. He kissed her again, and she didn't stop. Felt frozen, guilty, and buzzed. Yeah, right. They ended up outside his place because he put his address in for the driver. Her phone was dead, conveniently. He kissed her again. And then she asked him to order her an Uber. That was the extent of our physical contact. She swore. Sure, honey. That's what I wanted to say, but the words were stuck in my throat. This whole damn time, she'd been stressed, not getting enough attention. And that was her excuse? Like it was some kind of valid reason to betray everything we had? The kicker? She didn't tell me right away. Oh no, that would be too simple, too honest. Over the next few days he added her on Snapchat. She accepted. He sent casual flirty snaps. She replied. A few times. He sent nudes. She only sent fully clothed, but still inappropriate snaps. So it wasn't just a drunken mistake. It was a conscious choice, repeated over days. She kept it quiet. The guilt hit me hard, she said. Funny how that guilt didn't hit hard enough to stop her from replying to his damn snaps. And it definitely didn't hit hard enough for her to come clean. My naive ass was starting to be more present again, as she so eloquently put it. I was trying to reconnect, trying to get us back on track. Meanwhile, she was still playing games on Snapchat. She finally shut it down, meeting the guy privately to tell him they needed to stop. They agreed to coexist at university respectfully, decided no communication. Noble, right? Damage was already done, though. And still, she didn't say a word to me. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks of me trying to make things right, trying to support her, trying to understand what she needed. 2 weeks of her knowing, lying, and letting it fester. Then she broke down and told me. Not everything, of course. Just the kiss at the bar. Said I. Didn't want to know more. What the hell does that even mean? I was devastated, but I wasn't stupid. The next day, I asked more questions. That's when the trickle truth started. The Snapchat. The inappropriate snaps. She showed me. It was like a gut punch, over and over again. Every answer led to another question, every truth revealed another lie. I was hurt, beyond anything I'd felt before. But I loved her. Or I thought I did. I actually said I'd try to work through it. Stupid. I know. But when you've built a life with someone, when you've invested years, when you've moved across the country for them, you don't just walk away without trying. I set conditions. Sharing passwords, curfews, going out together around university friends. Boundaries, man. Not control. Boundaries. To try and rebuild something. Her reaction? She initially reacted poorly due to fear of losing control. Felt panicked and trapped, she said. My defensiveness made it worse. Unbelievable. I was giving her a lifeline, and she was complaining about the terms. Probably calling me controlling and insecure behind my back. That's how these things go. You give an inch, and they take a mile, then complain about the rough terrain. Eventually, I got the full story. The cab, the kisses outside his house. That shattered me. The fact that she waited 2 weeks, that she trickled out the truth, that she lied every step of the way, that's what really twisted the knife. She tried to say she was paralyzed by guilt and shame. Yeah, right. The guilt didn't stop her from getting on Snapchat, did it? It didn't stop her from arguing about my conditions, did it? I told her I needed to talk to my friends, my closest guys. And she panicked again. Afraid of judgment and being humiliated. Asked me not to tell anyone close to her. More terms from her. Beggars can't be choosy, but she sure as hell was trying to be. I saw then how selfish that was. I needed support. My world had just imploded, and she wanted me to keep it a secret so her reputation wouldn't take a hit. She said she'd return the engagement ring. That she'd do anything to rebuild. That she'd grow, give him all my transparency, and rebuild the trust over time. But it was too late. The well was poisoned. I told her I couldn't trust her again. Couldn't be with someone who could do that. I thought I knew her. I didn't. And that's the truth of it. This guy, this me, dodged a bullet. If I'd married her, this would have happened again. Anytime she felt stressed, anytime she felt like she wasn't getting enough attention, she'd be off looking for it somewhere else. It's a pattern, man. You recognize it eventually. Once a cheater, always a cheater, until they truly, fundamentally change something within themselves. And that takes a hell of a lot more than a Reddit post full of regrets. She says she learned deeply from the experience. That she's doing the inner work. Facing every ugly part of what led me here. That she'll never do something like this again, not out of fear losing him, but because I never want to be someone who betrays themselves and their partner like that again. Good for her, I guess. If it's true, if she actually learns, then maybe that's one less person out there causing this kind of pain. But it ain't saving us. I told her the relationship had run its course. I couldn't forgive her without feeling like she was walking all over me. I'd be letting her off the hook, letting her know it was okay to treat me like that. And I'm not built that way. I begged, cried, reasoned, apologized. She played all the hits. But my decision was made. And she still wouldn't let go. I just feel broken because I knew we had something real. And I believe it could be rebuilt if he ever wanted to. I just don't know if he ever will. She's not getting it. It's over. She wants to turn back time, get her DeLorean, her time stone. But life ain't a damn movie. You make choices, and those choices have consequences. You can't just undo the damage with crocodile tears and promises of inner work. My boys saw it. Even when I was trying to salvage it, they saw it. My buddy, Dave, he's divorced, been through the ringer. He just looked at me with that tired look that I've seen this before. Look. Man, you're trying to logic your way through something that ain't logical, he said. She's not thinking with her head, she's thinking about what she wants right now. And you're just trying to fix it because you're a fixer. He wasn't wrong. My analytical brain always wants to find the solution, the path forward. But sometimes, the solution is just to walk away. My work started to suffer. I'm a project manager, gotta be sharp, gotta be on top of things. But my head was in a fog. Sleep was a joke. Eating felt like a chore. Every time my phone buzzed, my heart hammered, wondering if it was her, if it was another piece of the story she'd held back. My colleagues noticed 2 little things. Asked if I was alright. I just brushed them off. Rough patch, I'd mumble. Hard to be a provider, to be the steady rock, when your foundation is crumbling beneath you. This whole thing, it just drained me, physically and mentally. I was always good with my money, always planned for the future. And suddenly, I was looking at our shared accounts, our lease, our dog, and feeling like all of it was tainted. Like I had poured my resources, my effort, my damn soul, into a bottomless pit. One of the guys at work, Mike, he's older, been married for like 20 years. He just came up to me one day, no bullshit, and said, "Look, man, you seem like you're carrying a heavy load. Whatever it is, if it's eating you up this much, it ain't worth it. You gotta protect your peace." He didn't know the specifics, but he knew the signs. And that's the thing about male friendships. You don't always need to go into every damn detail. Sometimes a nod, a shared glance, a few words of common sense from a guy who's lived a little, that's all you need to snap out of it. They just get it. No melodrama, no endless therapy speak. Just truth. When I finally pulled the plug, officially, it was like a physical weight lifted off my chest. The practical logistics were a nightmare, obviously. Dividing belongings, figuring out who gets the dog, that was the hardest part, saying goodbye to him. But it was necessary. Every step away from her was a step toward me. I had to redefine trust for myself. Not just in relationships, but in general. Learn to identify those red flags I'd ignored, the subtle shifts in behavior, the inconsistencies between words and actions. It's not about becoming cynical, it's about becoming smart. About trusting your gut when something feels off, even when your heart wants to believe the best. So yeah, another pity party on Reddit. Another woman crying about how she ruined her relationship because she wasn't getting enough attention, enough validation. Blaming stress, blaming alcohol, blaming the guy who sweet-talked her. And then the trickle truth, the desperate attempts to salvage it, not because she truly got it, but because she couldn't handle the consequences. And then the shock, the heartbreak, when the guy actually puts his foot down and walks away. What I learned, what any man needs to understand is this: when your girl cheats, cut your losses and move on. Doesn't matter how much she cries, how much she begs, how many tiny violins she plays. She'll do it again. Because the problem isn't the alcohol, or the stress, or the other guy. The problem is her. And you can't fix that. You can only protect yourself. Leave him alone, one guy on Reddit commented. Give him space. It's a death for him, he said. And he's right. Everything about me is different now. The best thing she could do is just leave me the hell alone. Don't call, don't text, don't bother me on social media. Just walk away. And the other comment hit hard too. I'm not going to praise or applaud the fact that you told your fiancé what happened. You didn't tell him immediately, and you waited until it was too much for you to bear. It was to relieve your guilt. That's it. That's the damn truth. It's never about how they hurt you. It's always about relieving their guilt. And that trickle truth? It's not because they're struggling to confess, it's because they're trying to control the situation, to minimize the fallout, to save face. And they'll tell themselves whatever they need to believe to keep that control. You make choices, she made choices. She chose not to manage her stress better. She chose not to talk to me when things felt distant. She chose to go out and get drunk, and then she chose to not walk away from another man. She chose to withhold the information. And then, when she couldn't handle the weight of her own bullshit, she dumped it on me. She knew it was wrong the entire time, but it didn't matter. Sums it up, doesn't it? Another pity party. They write these whole sob stories, thinking it'll magically make things better, that they'll get pity, attention, validation. But if your girl does this, you gotta walk away. Because otherwise, it will happen again. And if she ever does confess anything, remember the trickle truth. You're never going to get the full story, even if you dig and dig and dig. And for the love of God, don't ever fall for the "you're controlling and insecure" crap when you're trying to set boundaries. Just walk away and move on. Your self-respect is worth more than any temporary peace she can offer.